We back at it again. It's your boy. It's another Tuesday night, which means another episode of NXT. Great American Bash is rounding into form coming next week. But before we even get there, we have a new champion, and it hurts my soul to the core, to the very core and the essence of me. But I'm gonna talk about it because I'm strong and I gotta do this. So my name is Jordan Moser, and this is your NXT recap and review. We see two trademarks made by WWE for characters on the Raw and SmackDown brand. We see the things Happy Corbin and Nikki Ash trademarked by WWE, at least put in for a trademark, presumably for the characters Baron Corbin and Nikki Cross. They're just coming into their new characters, whatever that may be. I know Nikki Cross just starting her superhero gimmick, so needing a new name for that. And then Baron Corbin losing the King title, unfortunately, to Shinsuke Nakamura, so he's gonna need another title as well. But these names don't do it. I'm not going front with you. What is Happy Corbin? What the heck does that mean? Let me know. Help me understand. Is he going to be happy now? He was just despondent on SmackDown and sad. Like, you expect him to just turn it around like that and be happy and cheerful? Is he going to be a face? Like, let me know. Help me understand. What does Ash mean? Why is it A.S.H? Help me know. Please. I just need to understand because the names were fine. But either way, we see those trademarks coming in, so probably, presumably, going in the direction for those characters. But yeah, I'm kind of lost, not gonna lie. Another bit of backstage news from the EBC veteran pro wrestler Sanjay Dutt, known from his time in TNA, is now gone from the company. He left very recently. He gave his notice a few weeks back and left on his own accord from the company. He must have saw what was happening, the people being let go and things like that, and figured, hey, it's my time to kind of get out of everything. Hopefully he does go back to some in-ring competition. I know he's probably around his 40s, so probably hopefully getting back in the ring for Sanjay Dutt. He was one of my favorite just X Division guys in TNA, so that would be awesome. But if he doesn't, hope the road is a little bit more clean and greener for him now leaving the backstage as a producer for WWE, of course. See the main event of the show of NXT, Bronson Reed defending the North American Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Very nice matchup in the main event. We see Reed very dominant early on, just throwing his weight around and using it to his advantage. We see at one point he just sits on Isaiah Swerve Scott on the ring apron, and I thought it was hilarious. Just the face he made, everything about that was nice. But we see later on Isaiah Swerve Scott just starting to come back, especially during picture-in-picture, to kind of take control. Everything just kind of built up to a climax. We see at the end of the matchup as Bronson Reed is going up for the Tsunami Splash, a Top Dollar and Asante the Adonis of Hit Row that kind of interfere. He eventually sends them just flying through and over the barricade as Bronson Reed just kind of takes back control on the outside. But that's until he gets back in the ring. He is hit with a swift kick from Isaiah Swerve Scott, who goes up top for a 450 splash onto the head of Bronson Reed. 1, 2, 3. We have a new North American champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott, leader of Hit Row. It is a Hit Row summer, it seems. This hurts a lot because Bronson Reed, he's the Thicc Boi. He's my guy. He's been doing it for 14 years, as we remember. And when he got that title, it was just an awesome and amazing moment. And now we're here 2 months later, and it's just, it feels wrong. It feels unneeded. Unless he is going to Raw or SmackDown, as presumed, as he's been at a couple of the tapings and had done like dark matches and things like that on main event. Unless he is going to the main roster, this was not needed in any capacity. They should have let him just continue on with this, have a longer reign, lose it to somebody that, not saying Isaiah Swerve Scott isn't needing of a championship or deserving of a championship, but this kind of felt kind of forced in like the wrong moment, I would say. But okay matchup, I would say, for the main event. Definitely we'll see what Swerve and Hit Row kind of do going into the future. But I was not sold on this title change, I would say. But first off, to kick off the show, we had the three-way tag team match for the women to decide the number one contenders for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships for Great American Bash. We got Zoe Stark and Io Shirai facing Dakota Kai and the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez facing against Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. And boy, was this balls to the wall. Like, this was crazy. This was probably the most intense and high-action women's match I have seen in a minute in NXT and in WWE in general. All 6 women flying around the ring, just doing amazing moves, amazing spots. It was really like just high action. I couldn't really keep up with everything that was going on, and somehow it made all 6 women look great coming out of it. Like, all 6 women got their time to shine in some capacity, and it was beautiful. The dives out the ring, with action in the ring, everything was awesome. But we do see the end of this match as everybody is trading finishers. We see Io Shirai, she hits that shote, then goes up top for a moonsault, hits that on Dakota Kai for the 1-2-3 and the win for Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. They will face off against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell for those NXT Women's Tag Team Championships going on at Great American Bash next week. But yeah, this was amazing. Great way to kick off the show. Just high action, high paced. Everybody played their role perfectly and everybody got their looks in perfectly. So this was amazing stuff, most definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing Io Shirai and Zoe Stark kind of move forward in the future. I like this team. I like the pairing and the chemistry and stuff like that. I don't expect it to go on much further after Great American Bash because I feel like they're going to lose. But either way, definitely a great chemistry just shown by everybody in this matchup. We see the NXT title scene get a little bit more compact and a little more clear. We see as Cross is walking into the show, Johnny Gargano attacks him, kind of payback for him getting attacked last week as well, and just starts to beat him up backstage. That leads to Cross coming out later in the show, calling out Johnny Gargano, saying he don't want none of this. He is too scared. He is the champion. He is big and he is bad. But Gargano comes out anyway, starts to run in this gap. He's talking about, hey, you are in my ring. That is my world that you're standing in. And this is all very much a distraction for Austin Theory to come up from behind and attack. They kind of double team Cross. He eventually kind of gets the upper hand. He's throwing Johnny Gargano into the barricade, which looked dangerous, by the way. Like, he looked like he was destroying that man, and he was about to crush him with the steel steps as well, until security and Samoa Joe came out to kind of stop, and we see a little bit more tension between Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross, which is always fun. I need to see them wrestle, please. But we even see later on in the show as tensions continuously renew. Karrion Kross, as him and Scarlett are leaving the show, Gargano attacks again, and him and Theory are left laying as Kross and Scarlett drive off as well. So yeah, definitely Karrion Kross continuing to come out on top in his interactions with Johnny Gargano, despite the 2-on-1 advantage. But it does seem like Johnny Gargano is the next challenger for Karrion Kross. Don't know if he is veering into babyface territory at all. We hear the crowd chanting Johnny Wrestling as the segment was kind of going on earlier, but I think he'll stay a heel, but just make his intentions kind of clear and going for that NXT championship, because he saw it before. He would like it again. That doesn't change whether he's a face or a heel. It just doesn't. So very nice stuff. I like the idea of Kross and Gargano going at it. But yeah, definitely should be a fun matchup when it happens. Johnny Gargano can definitely hold his own against Kross, as we've seen, because his wrestling ability is top notch. So looking forward to this, of course. Diamond Mine is here. We saw Roderick Strong with his first in-ring action since a couple months ago when he quit from NXT. He was facing off against Asher Hale and he destroyed him, and it was glorious. We saw him just aggressive as heck, more than we've seen Roddy in a really long time. Eventually won with a nice little double arm track, little wrist lock, kind of rotating that arm. I don't know what he was doing, but it looked beautiful, and he got the submission victory over Asher Hale. But yeah, just out there with the rest of his Diamond Mine guys, Tyler Russ, Suzuki, Malcolm Bivens as the perfect mouthpiece. Like, I am looking forward to this so much and seeing this chemistry kind of blossom over the next couple weeks and months. I want to see what both Russ and Suzuki can do in the ring. I expect them to just come, oh, it's going to be so lovely. Just these workhorses, these aggressive guys. I am looking forward to this, most definitely, yes. Next up, we have a matchup between Aries Sterling and Cameron Grimes. Very short stuff, but definitely a good showing by Aries Sterling. Definitely don't see him on NXT a lot. He's definitely more 205 Live when it was going on. So definitely good to see him kind of get his shine on NXT and just really put on a really good performance. But it wasn't meant to be. He missed a moonsault near the end of this matchup, and that allows Cameron Grimes to hit the cave-in for the 1-2-3 and the win. I expect we will be seeing more of Mr. Sterling later on with that NXT NXT Breakout Tournament coming up, of course. We do see as Grimes is celebrating, LA Knight makes an appearance. He just starts to run down the homie, and Cameron Grimes not having it. He's like, hey, put that $1 million championship on the line next week. Great American Bash. I will be there. And we going to the moon. And then LA Knight was like, you know what? Nah, but on second thought, I'm going to take your word on it. We going to fight at Great American Bash for the $1 million championship. But if you lose, Cameron Grimes, you must become my butler. And that is a very interesting proposition. While I would love to see Cameron Grimes be in comedy segments as the butler of LA Knight, I would love to see him win the $1 million championship as well. So this is going to be very fun to watch. They killed it at TakeOver, and I'm looking forward to see them kill it next week as well in just a standard singles match. Looking forward to see hopefully Cameron Grimes can come out on top, but either way, I'm kind of good at just seeing where the story kind of leads from here. Next up, we see Kyle O'Reilly comes to the ring just to talk about Great American Bash, his second matchup coming up with Adam Cole, and how he's looking forward to that. Cole does eventually make his appearance to kind of run down Kyle O'Reilly, but also does Samoa Joe to make sure no violence ensues, which we saw he didn't do a lot of stopping of later on. But we do see, as both men are kind of going at it, Adam Cole calls Kyle O'Reilly obsessed, and I can see just the look on his face, just disgust, which is weird because both of them seem to be just obsessed with each other and just continuing this, frankly. Both seem to be really just into the idea of just having them continually go at it. But we see words were thrown, wives were talked about. Kyle O'Reilly did not like that at all. We eventually see them just go nose to nose, face to face. Kyle O'Reilly eventually gets a heel hook on Adam Cole, and Samoa Joe is just like, hey, I'm gonna let it happen. Adam Cole just like screaming, get him off me, Joe, get him off me. And Joe's like, nah, bro. Like, like, what'd you think this was? You tried to swing at me. You tried to hit me, bro. Like, what you doing? I'm gonna just leave. And then he eventually lets security go ahead and break everything up. And we see Kyle O'Reilly stand tall going into Great American Bash next week. Very nice war of words. And we see them just kind of build that tension that they had up back at TakeOver, Stand and Deliver as well. So looking forward to seeing Adam Cole more than likely come out on top for this time, and then eventually seeing like a trilogy match eventually come, probably around like SummerSlam season if they have a takeover over there and things like that. But yeah, looking forward to the matchup. Of course, I think I'm gonna like them more in just a standard singles matchup rather than having all of that non-sanctioned stuff going on at Stand and Deliver. So I'm looking forward to probably this matchup the most at Great American Bash. Next up, we have an just mixed tag team matchup. Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez going up against Xia Li and Boa of Tian Sha. Yeah, this one really plodded along a little bit. There wasn't really any chemistry between these two teams. Boa not being that great in ring didn't really add anything to the matchup at all as well. But the most interesting moment came at the end of the matchup. As the match ended, we see Xia Li hit a roundhouse kick and Mercedes Martinez looks knocked out, like she's finished. I see the ref stop the matchup. They don't put Mercedes or the ref back on camera, just focus in on Xia Li and Bo as Tian Sha kind of celebrates her, stands there menacingly after they win the matchup. I'm definitely hoping Mercedes Martinez is okay, because it definitely looked like a shot that should not have been taken in, or maybe been taken the wrong way. But yeah, Mercedes Martinez was definitely knocked out at that moment. So glad the ref handled it completely at that moment. But yeah, probably they would have won the matchup in any sense anyway. But yeah, definitely hoping that everything is kind of okay with that, of course. And last thing here, we see a face-off between the two teams going at it for the NXT Tag Team Championships at Great American Bash. MSK the champions, and Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher the challengers. See a nice little sit-down discussion as Tommaso Ciampa's like, hey, don't worry about me, I'm gonna bring it. But my boy right here, Tim Thatcher, TT, Toothless Timmy, he's hungry, boy. He ain't held gold here in NXT. He is ready and willing to do whatever it takes to get them titles off you boys. And MSK are tired of being disrespected. From the looks of it, they get up, kind of get into their faces like, hey, remember, we may be the underdogs, but y'all are the challengers. We gonna prove next week why we the champions. And Carter actually decks and just slaps Timothy Thatcher, and I thought he was about to get let loose, boy. I thought they was about to brawl, but Ciampa holds him back, and he kind of cools things down a little bit, and he's like, hey, bro, bring your titles and bring your pride, because we're about to take them both. Gives him a nice little kiss on the cheek. I thought that was kind of weird, but it made me laugh. It was kind of weird, just kind of the intensity of the segment, but they kind of stared down, and MSK held those titles high as we kind of end things off there. But I am looking forward to this matchup, most definitely. In a way, I am hoping Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa come out on top, even though I don't want the reign of MSK okay to end. It's kind of a catch-22 there. I can't really help it, but I'm hoping for the best, hoping for a great matchup, just hoping that these two teams just really tear the house down, as they know that they can. So hoping Timothy Thatcher gets some gold. Come on, TT, baby. All in all, very solid episode of NXT. We see a good title change in the main event with Isaiah Swerve Scott becoming the North American champion. We'll see how his reign kind of goes on with the next couple weeks and months coming up, going into the summer months. If it is it for Bronson Reed on NXT, salud, you did amazing. Hope to see you on the main roster. If it's not, why did you do this, NXT? Why? I like Hit Row, but dang it, bro, dang. But yeah, we see an awesome just opening matchup with those 6 women just going at it. We see Io Shirai and Zoe Stark coming out on top. Hopefully that is going to be awesome at Great American Bash. But yeah, everything's working towards GAB next week, and hopefully it's going to be a great show. Everything means something on that show, and as we're going into the summer months, it's really going to lay out the picture and the feel for NXT. So looking forward to that. That is going to be it from your boy. Very solid episode of NXT once again. You will see more videos throughout the week. Call us, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Instagram, your mama, your daddy, your grandma, everybody, let them know about us if you love wrestling. That is going to be it. I am out. Peace. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Everything like that. 4th of July, America, something like that. Yeah, cool. I'll see you around.